All right, guys, we have a lot to cover, so we're going to dive in. Welcome to the NTI Leaders Call. It is Tuesday, a gorgeous Tuesday, I might add, here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, as I always say, not that it's actually horrible here. You don't want to move. You wouldn't want to live here. You wouldn't want to move here. So it's actually horrible here. It's snowing, overcast, raining. It's terrible.
4 degrees.
It's 4 degrees. It is 4 degrees, and the wind chill, it's minus 15. You don't want to be here.
You don't want to be.
Watch all these people be like, wow, I love that kind of weather. Okay. Networking Today International, February 1st. So glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Our area directors are, and I always like to point this out. And the reason why I do is because some of you may not be able to reach me, may not be able to reach Brooke, but our area directors are some of the most advanced and some of the most trained people on the NTI way of things out there. At least they should be. Thank you, Ray. Ray's got new muscle definition zone from this fancy new gym that he's built. It's pretty fantastic. Not gym, really. What did you call that? Studio?
Yeah.
Like,
just
anyway, moving right along. Ray, thank you. Hanging out in Florida. Your new studio is looking fantastic. We saw some pictures on that. And of course, we got Penny Burr, Martha Harvey, Fatty Shakur, Evan Rauff, and Steve Reed. All right. And we're looking for more as we sweep across the country. We're looking for people to help us develop areas. So if you know someone who would like to be an area director, I want you to have them think about networking today and have them reach us, because I'm going to do a little math for you guys real quick. Go ahead, Brooke.
And while he's doing the math, just a heads up, we do have someone that will potentially be our leader, our area director in Arizona. So if you have anybody in Arizona that you know that needs to network or maybe a perfect person to be a meeting leader, I would really love to get connected with them as soon as possible. I'm actually meeting with this potential area director tomorrow to discuss how we can grow Arizona. So
guys, let's say that you're an area director. Okay. Now this, some of you are just, meeting. I don't mean just meeting leaders. You're fantastic. We love you. But I'm saying if you're at the meeting leader status, this wouldn't apply quite to you, although it would apply some to you. Okay. So you guys know we have a third level option for meeting leaders for membership. It's $1,000, but you override any meetings that start because of you 25%. So some of this will apply to you and some of it won't. So let's say that you lead one meeting and that one meeting has 20 members. 1 times 20, I'm using my calculator if you're wondering what I'm using. 1 times 20 is 20 times $330, which is the average revenue that we get per member, equals 6,600 times 20%. You're making $1,320 on your own meeting. If you are meeting leader level 3 of $1,000 a year, you're networking for free and you made $320. Now, let's say that you start a meeting through your influence, a friend that you know, something like that. You start a meeting somewhere. You're overriding them 25%. So one meeting times 20 members times $330. You have to trust me here. Times 0.25. You're making $1,650 on a second meeting that starts because of you. Now, let's say that you're an area director. Okay. Let's hypothetically say that you have 5 meetings. Remember, you're making $1,300 on your own meeting. So you're one of our area directors. An area director comes in and develops 5 meetings. He or she themselves develop the market, not a meeting that we refer to you, but a meeting that you develop as an area director, and you're developing that market. And you get 5 meetings. 5 times 20 members equals 100 members times $330 per year on average is $33,000. You're making 25% override on those. That's $8,250. Plus, at $250,000 gross revenue, once we hit that at NTI, which we're going to get you guys some numbers to know where we're at. We're still figuring that out with the database change. I know it's something that should have been done, but we've been prioritized with some other things. But you're going to override your market another 10%. So if your market is doing $33,000 times 10%, that's another $3,300 over and above what you got paid on your own meeting, over and above what you got paid on the others. That's only 5 meetings, only 5. Some of you are only doing 2. Some of you are not developing, you're just maintaining. Some of you are just plugging along. Even those of you who are meeting leaders in a given city or state, do you know that if you know of somebody, say they're at BNI, but they're not happy. If they're happy at BNI, we don't proselyte. I'm not going and proselytizing from BNI. You can belong to NTI and BNI. So I'm not doing that. But let's say that you know someone who's not happy at BNI, and maybe they were president, or maybe they were vice president, or even treasurer, or maybe you know a realtor or a mortgage lender or a PNC agent or a financial advisor like at Primerica or LPL or some of these other firms that are nationwide. Edward Jones. Let's say that you know someone from Edward Jones and they can't get into a BNI because they're already consumed with members that own those seats because they're categorically exclusive. Do you know that if you introduce them to NTI and they start the meeting, do you know that you override that meeting 25% if you're meeting leader level 3 and you can switch to that at any time? Think about if you knew 3 or 4 people around the world that could start a meeting. You're all networked. You know people who network. And, my thing is, if you knew maybe how much money you would make, maybe it would help some of you refocus. That's only with 20 members. Even during COVID, my meeting has 40 members that attend ish, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. But I mean, now's the time to do it. And that's why one of the things we're talking to everybody about today is a visitor contest. We're going to get into that. But the first thing I want to do is just talk to you real quick about the website.
Hold on, before you do that, since
Okay.
we're on the other topic.
Okay.
Another market that we are looking at is Canada. I've had 2 people reach out to me thanks to one of our members here in Knoxville. He's a coach of a sort. So he is in like masterminds with other coaches and things like that. And he's started connecting those people to us because they're all looking for ways to get their business out and about. So we were connected by our guy here in Knoxville to a guy in Canada. That guy has now sent our information out to somebody else who emailed me this morning. I have a meeting with him Thursday afternoon, and then we're following up with the 2 of them next week to see what we can do to have a local meeting there in Canada. So we're growing and it's going quickly. So be a good friend and send your friends to us so we can help them.
Fed, do you have a question? Go ahead and unmute.
What area in Canada? Any?
I don't remember.
Because you talked to the.
I don't remember what he said, but we can tell you.
I'll find out.
Yeah, we'll get back to you.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
But here's the thing, guys. You know.
One has already joined. So one has already joined. So those of you who do the online meetings,
Mhm.
he will be on your meetings starting this week. So just a
And his name was
Al Kareem.
Al Kareem. Okay. So guys, here's the thing. Many of you know you better tell him I'm going to fire him if he. Okay. So here's the thing. Sorry about that little outburst, but here's the thing. Somebody's trying to call me and I told him I was going to be available until 2:00. I'm about ready to choke him. But here's the thing. Some of you have forgotten that we want to be international way more than we are. I mean, we're heading to Canada and we're already in Africa. Grant you, Africa has started very slow and we're still trying to help him get off the ground and he's fighting an uphill battle. But areas where they network and you know of people in other countries, let's get them going on NTI. But certainly if you know people in America, we want those people. So, or America, as they say here in Knoxville. Anyway, moving right along, the new website. I just want to touch base on this. I think most of you, if not all of you by now, have probably already been through the website. You've played with it and provided feedback for us. You've said things to me and things to Brooke, I'm sure. of things that we need to fix or tweak. I hope you're seeing a lot of the things that are different. But one of the things I want to show you here today, and I'm going to have to change my view. So give me just a second. I'll change my view to the website. Maybe. Okay, or maybe I won't. I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. So do you know that when you come into your dashboard and you need to help one of the members of your meeting, when you go to log in as them, it logs you out of your login at NTI, your dashboard, and it logs you into theirs, and it all happens automatically. Now, to get back to yours, it won't happen automatically. You have to log out and then log back in. And I'm sorry about that. It's just a hoop we have to jump through. But here's what I want to show you. Do you know that if I go to members now, I'm just going to use this very first person here, and you go to my subscriptions. Oh, of course, I had to use a guy that was like, expired. Anyway, I go to my subscriptions. Okay. I will get to my subscriptions here at some point. And you go to my subscriptions. Actually, I need to probably look at free members, but if I can just get to this to show it to you. Oh, of course, for me. Okay, right here underneath, if you have a member and right here underneath, and they're a free member, you can change their expiration date. So typically, I don't want to bounce around, but right underneath here, you would see their membership. And what we want is if anyone's a free member within your meeting location, we want them to have a 1-year expiration, and we'll evaluate should they still be free 1 year from now. So I wanted to bring this up because some of you are going to have a free member in your system for one reason or the other. And if there's a free member and their membership expires, that's what it is. And we'll just have to re-sign them up or re-extend, the renewal date as it nears the end, or get them to become a paying member. So I wanted to share that with you, but we're constantly making updates to the system. And one of the reasons why I wanted to share this with you guys is because be watching. We're making the updates that you guys are suggesting. We've made a lot of updates. And one of the things that we need from you, since we're doing, let me go back to my other screen here real quick. Since we're doing the new contest of the visitor contest that started today, you're going to want to send to me and to Brooke all of your visitor hosts. Your visitor hosts, when they log in, I want to show you what they're going to see. Okay. Just so that you have it. When first of all, this is the visitor follow-up system that all of you should have. When you go to the visitor follow-up system and you add a visitor contact, this is where you do it. Now, for you as a meeting leader, your meeting locations are right here. We built it so that if I log out of this and I go to, I'm going to show you Amy Shoemake, who all of you know is your wonderful meeting leader concierge. But if I go to Amy, you're going to see up here in the upper right-hand side that Amy has been made a visitor host. And you can see that her title right up here in the upper right corner. She now has access to the visitor follow-up system as a visitor host. When she goes to member resources and she scrolls down, you're going to see a visitor host section right here. And if she clicks on this, she will go directly to the visitor contact system. Okay. Now, one of the things that we made a mistake on, it was an oversight. It was just an accident. We're working to fix it. is assigning meeting locations to visitor hosts. Now, those of you that say, well, duh, of course that needed to happen, Rich. You're seeing it in hindsight, just like we are now. So when working with our dev team, we advise them we need to have our members, our meeting leaders, be able to assign visitor hosts. And so we did that. One of the things that was an oversight was saying, hey, by the way, you need to make sure everybody has access to the meetings that we assign to them. So that was an oversight. So by next week, this should be fixed. So you say, Rich, oh, this is a problem. I can't do anything. Like, this is what amazes me. I listened to this positive, influential speaker named Eric Thomas. This guy's so good. Many of you know who this guy is. But yesterday, Brooke played a clip, or maybe the day before, can't remember. But Brooke played a clip he was talking about the blame account and stopping blaming everybody else and starting taking individual responsibility. I'm not saying that the visitor host should not have access to their meeting locations. Of course, they indeed should. I know. But in the meantime, let's figure out how to work around it until we get it updated. I think you're seeing a lot of positive responses from what we're sharing with you and saying with you over and over and over. And you're seeing the things that we're updating. So it's not that we're not doing it. So just work with us for a week or so until we get it fixed. How do you work with us? Give your visitor host your phone. Give your visitor host your phone. Give them your tablet. Ask them to bring their computer. Sign in on their computer with your login credentials and go to the visitor follow-up system. They can use your meeting. They can use your computer. I would not even think twice about giving Ashley or Amy, because I have 2 visitor hosts, my computer and asking them to enter in our people that have visited, the guests for the day. I wouldn't even think twice about it. You say, Rich, I don't have a laptop. Ask them to bring theirs. Well, they don't have a laptop. Ask someone else in your meeting to bring a laptop. I mean, or an iPad. You certainly, you must have a mobile phone.
It works on my phone.
Huh? So if it works on a mobile phone and you have 5G or 4G or even 3G, and you have Wi-Fi or you're connected to some ability to get web, you can use the system. So let's not make excuses. Let's not play the blame game and blame NTI as to why we can't do something. For me, I don't know. I just try to work around the system and make it work however it can work. And so I would hand Amy my computer and say, just use mine. Pick the meeting location. Let your visitor host enter those guests in. This is the only way we are tracking who the winner will be from the current contest. Someone's going to win $500, and it's just for bringing the most visitors. So each and every one of us as meeting leaders should be talking to our members about bring visitors, bring visitors, bring visitors. We know we're never going to get them as members if they never shadow our doorstep. So we want them to come experience networking today, learn about networking today. And of course, we want them to join networking today. But for our members, this contest, the visitor host contest, is going to use the visitor follow-up system. And Brooke and I would like you to email us who your visitor host is. We'll get them assigned to your meeting. And by the way, you might want to just take a minute to also list the meetings.
Correct.
So you may have a different visitor host for your online meeting that you have for your local meeting, or it might be for all your meetings. What we need from you is your visitor host for each meeting that you have.
Or makes it easier for us.
Yeah.
And also think about this contest as a really good way to kind of train everyone how to do what they should be doing as a networker, regardless of if it's NTI or anywhere else. So you're training your members to go out and get visitors, right? But you're also training your leadership team to work together to kind of close those visitors, work together as a team, and grow each of the meetings.
Now, meeting leader option 2 with networking today is $500. That gets you 20% compensation. The money that I mentioned at the start of the meeting that you'd be making if you had 20 members, the $1,300, right? Or whatever the math was, can't remember exactly. But that money that you'd be making, think about all the additional referrals and introductions and leads you'll get from all the new members for your business. If you're a loan officer, a trainer, a financial advisor, think about all the leads that you could get for your own business. It's not just, we know the money that we're paying is not that much. So, but you're networking for free. You're making a little bit of money that's helping you cover all the costs of your one-to-ones that you should be having anyway, coffees, lunches, things like that with your members. But then you're getting all the referrals, you're getting all the money from NTI, you're getting all these new people to your meeting, and you're getting the opportunity to get tons of new referrals to you and your own business. In addition to that, the meeting leader with the most new members is going to win $500. So this is not visitors. This is members. By the end of today, I will have the contest image on your member resources, which is right here on the page. It'll be right here and you'll see the image. I'll have it uploaded by the end of the day so that you can begin promoting it in your meeting. Those of you who have had meetings already for this week, don't worry about it. We actually made this meeting 7 weeks long. I think it is. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure we extended it a week just to give you a week to get acclimated and things like that. We always have 6 week long contests. And the reason why we have 6 weeks, I know that feels like forever, but if we only did it for 2 weeks, you'd only have 2 meetings. If you have 1 meeting a week, I'm not saying you only attend 1 meeting a week, but if you host 1 meeting a week, like most of us do, then that gives you 7 weeks or 7 meetings to get your guests. That gives you time to line up a visitor day. If you've not lined up a visitor day yet, even though Brooke and I have been promoting it, preaching it, teaching it, sharing our, we've been sharing our activities of what our plan was for 2022 since what, October of 21. So these are all things, but if you don't have it done yet, there's still time. I want to encourage you, like, don't get discouraged. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off. So you know what? I'm going to get my visitor day and I'm going to start it right now and go out and get it started. And you'll be thankful that you did, I think. All right, let's go back to this because we got a lot more to cover. So the visitor host contest starts today. It'll run through March 18th. And it's a time for you to get visitors. Okay. But someone's going to win money. I hope it's you. I really do. And I hope it's a member from one of your meetings. I want to talk to you about events because Brooke and I have gotten feedback this week from one of our area directors that some of the meeting leaders say that this call is not productive. Some say, I don't want to get on the call and just listen to Rich rant. Well, I'm available for you to schedule a one-to-one with me. Like, all you have to do is text me or email me. And email is the worst form of communication for me. So shoot me a text and let's schedule time if you need it. Twice a month, 2 times a month, every other Tuesday, I come on the screen for less than 60 minutes. I went back and I've tracked for like the last 3 months, and I only went over the 60-minute limit like twice. And I almost never even went over 45 minutes. So for 45 minutes, I'm trying to encourage, share, educate, train, talk, share ideas. The events, 4 pages were uploaded to the meeting leader resources page back in October that Brooke took the time to make. I know they're not there right now. We're getting everything repopulated into the meeting leader resources for those of you who are new. But those of you who have been around October, November, December, and January, well, maybe not January because the new website went live. But those who have been around a while, you had ample opportunity to download those things and to start building out your calendar. But just because it's February 1st and January is already done for 22, it doesn't mean you can't take advantage of it. So remember that we are an event company. The weekly meeting you run is a weekly event. You're emceeing that event as meeting leader. You invite people to your business event, your business meeting event, your business networking event. It's an event, but that's not the only event we do. Your visitor day is an event. There are some meeting leaders, I presume not even on this call today, who tell me that every week is a visitor day. Let me tell you that that is a fatal mistake for your meeting. You're hurting yourself, you're hurting your growth, you're hurting your community by not letting other businesses know about it, and you're hurting your members. How? Well, because when you focus a day and make that day, a specific day, your visitor day, the day when everyone in the room should be inviting guests, what happens is we all invite on that day. You see, if every day is visitor day, then no day is. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like when someone stands up here in your meeting and they're giving their business brief, which is what you should be calling it. Next week, we're going to reacclimate and focus on the 5 parts of your meeting. It's one of the things that I've been wanting to do. But when people stand up and they say, I'm looking for anybody that is blank, you do understand that saying anybody is saying nobody. Because if I stand up and I say, I'm looking for people that just got married this year, I stand up and I'm looking for people that just retired. Who do you know that maybe just retired? Okay, if you have 20 people in the room, maybe there's only 2 people that knew right off the top of their head of somebody that just retired.
My dad.
Your dad is a perfect example. But if I stand up and I say, I'm looking for anybody that wants to roll over a 401k, anybody's nobody. When every day of your meeting is a visitor day, then no day is. When you make it a priority to pick a date, the members in the room are all focused on that single date. When we all bring Panera, we make a big deal out of it. We put a Facebook post out, we post on LinkedIn, we send Fanzuma messages out. We get the word out that we're having free breakfast. Come see all that's new at Networking Today. That helps you and helps your meeting. And what happens, the biggest part of it is group mentality. The group dynamic kicks in and they want to join. It adds energy to your room. It adds positive vibes to your room. It adds confidence to your existing members, and every single person in the room loves all the visitors. So everything about selecting a visitor day is brilliant if, number 1, you want to grow your meeting for you. Number 2, you want to grow your meeting for your members. Number 3, you want to help others in your community know that there's help for them to grow their business. So for whether it's yourself, what's in it for me, your members, your Jerusalem, so to speak, or visitors that might come, your rest of the world, right? Some people like to use biblical analogies, right? In the New Testament, we're told to, deal with home first and then abroad, right? So you're dealing with yourself, you're dealing with your own members, and you're dealing with new blood. There are several reasons why you want to have a visitor day, why you want to have a mixer, as Martha calls it. I call it a happy hour. Don't care what you call it. You should have one. Networking Gone Wild. Those of you who are a men on here who have not scheduled a Networking Gone Wild, and I know you haven't because Brooke hasn't told me one of you are doing it. None of you have scheduled a hobnob. How do I know? Because I know the founders of the National Networking Association. I know the people of the National Networking Association, and I know no one's reached out to Brooke, and no one's reached out to me, and no one's reached out to them. So I know you're not doing it. Now, do I know you're not doing a visitor day? No. Do I know you're not doing a happy hour? No. Do I want to track that you're doing these things? No. I'm saying these things not because they're mandatory. I'm saying them to try to help you grow your network. That energy and what you're doing feeds into growing your business and the business of everyone in your room. And you are the leader. It's what you're supposed to be leading and doing. Anything you'd like to add? Do they do this at Neora? Do they have sales calls, trainings, events?
So yeah, every Monday, I mean, you see my phone go off. Every Monday, there's a training. Every Thursday, there's a training. There's a corporate training. It's just like how we do it. It's recorded. You can go back and watch it, or you can watch it live with everyone. I mean, it's very much the same way we do everything here. If you're not here, you don't know what's going on. There was a suggestion that we send emails with all of this information. Okay, my thoughts on that. Okay, first and foremost, the percentage of people that actually open their emails and read them and take them serious are not high enough for us to take the time to sit down and do a 45 minutes of writing an email for you guys to learn something. Not to mention, most people learn a lot better in an interactive setting versus reading something. Okay. So I don't think 2 hours a month is asking a lot for people to come on and train, take the time. I mean, we're all meeting leaders, right? Our ultimate goal is to grow. If you're not involved, if you're not included, your business isn't growing. It works that way in direct marketing, and like Neora and all those direct sales companies. It works in networking. No matter what you do, whatever your business is, if you don't put the time in, you're not going to get the results out of it. So, I mean, the blame game again. You can only blame yourself if you're not doing it. So, Evan?
I was just suggesting, I know a few months ago you had me speak, and I know if you had other people, what's working well for other members, meeting leaders that might support and help people come as well.
Yeah.
And I put in the chat, I know if people aren't showing up to the meeting, only 10% of us are actually listen to the recording.
Correct.
So really, we all want to get the best out of the meeting that we can.
So
learn from other people.
One of the number one complaints that I get, Evan, is that everyone's busy because we're all entrepreneurs. And one of the complaints I get is if I go long, Rich, I don't have an hour and a half to sit on a call. And so just lately, we've had a lot to cover with the new website, all the events, the new year, but we've made that a priority is to have meeting leaders. We've asked several meeting leaders who have backed out of me the day that they were supposed to speak. And I'm not going to call out names.
Literally the hour of.
But literally the hour of. So I've asked several meeting leaders to come on and speak, and very few have. Now I've called on a couple like you, Evan, and you were willing to do it. But there's so much for us to train on right now that we've just postponed that for the last few meetings. And that's why it feels like a month or two has gone by since we've had a meeting leader be on here. When the meeting leader canceled on me like 6 weeks ago, I asked her to come back on the next week. She canceled again that day. I gave her one more chance the next meeting, which was 2 weeks later. So at this point now 8 weeks have gone by because we had the 3 that she was supposed to speak and then 2 more weeks until the next call. So literally 2 months went by. So it's a great suggestion. We'll get back to it.
And then I just to share with you, I know this, you might know I'm another meeting I belong a part of as well, this similar conversation about looking at the length of the meeting and also looking at how to, it doesn't have to be an hour, it could be 35 or 45 minutes. But also too is this is our business too, right? We're in the business of networking and we should be here. If not here, we should be able to have the information and take action on it because we all want to grow or have our meetings be the most successful, even with the members that we do have.
Right.
Hey,
So,
Evan, and just to kind of add to what you're saying is it is our responsibility. It is our meetings. And unlike most networking, you guys are compensated for the growth of your meeting, the number of people sitting in your rooms. Mm-hmm. Those of you area directors, all of the meetings in your markets that you help develop, you're going to get to a place where you'll make money off of every bit of that.
And I would like to say, thank you, Evan, for that feedback. I would just like everybody to say, look, we're all adults. I'm going to speak frankly. This isn't a bitch session. I'm not bitching at you. I'm not complaining. I love you. I'm glad you're here. So I don't want you to take it that way, but we get the complaints. So if you're not the one complaining, then it doesn't apply to you. Just let it fall off your back like water off of a duck's back. Just don't let this bother you. But we get the complaints, so we're addressing it, because people say, well, I don't know how to grow my meeting. Well, we talk about it each and every week. I don't know. I didn't know about the contest. Well, we've been talking about it for 6 weeks. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know. That's because you're not coming on the training calls. So that's why we have area directors. Area directors, you're supposed to be training on a more micro level in your own market. Excuse me, you're supposed to be getting together with your meeting leaders for lunch, maybe quarterly, grab dinner with them, something like that. But these events, if you're an area director, you should be leading the charge and putting these events on. And I don't say that to scold anybody. I say that because that's what I'm doing. And that's why our market is doing so well. And that's why other markets that are doing events and making their meetings fun are also doing well. Like Martha Harvey. I keep talking about Martha Harvey, but she's doing a wonderful job launching events, golf outings, visitor days, mixers, these kinds of things. And again, when I say not one of you have asked about Networking Gone Wild, even though we've been talking about it for a year, not one of you have asked about Hobnob, even though we've been putting that out for a year. None of you are doing it. So I'm not throwing a rock at you. And nor am I making it mandatory. It's not mandatory at NTI. You can do what you want. I'm saying if you want success, if you want to grow, if you're not happy with your 3 or 4 member meeting location, which eventually is going to be closed because I can't afford to operate on only 3 member meeting locations. But if you are not interested in growth and you're not interested in helping your network grow, why are you a meeting leader? Like, I'm just asking. If you're not leading a meeting, you're not going to be a leader, then why choose that position? I don't understand. We're doing our best. We host the calls typically. Every once in a while we miss it. We host these calls unrecorded. You can listen MP3. You can watch the video on from YouTube because we embed it onto the meeting leader resources. And yes, some of you will say, well, I checked the last 2 times and it wasn't there. Okay. Clearly we were rolling out a new website and running into tons of bugs and a lot of other problems. So we got a little busy and a little distracted, and I apologize. But typically they're here. And so I'm not casting, a broad net. I'm not blaming anyone on the call, saying these events you're not doing. But if you do them, you will experience the fruit, the blessing that comes with it. But you got to instigate it. You have to be the one to light the fire. Earlier today, I grilled a steak. I had to go out. I had to clean my grill. I had to put the charcoal in. I had to put some lighter fluid on it. I had to light it. I had to put the grill in. I had to scrape the old stuff off the grill. I had to prep the steak. I had to do all that before I could enjoy the steak. If you're not willing to put the time in, you're not willing to work, and you're not willing to do the events, then you're not going to enjoy such a delicious meal at the end of it. It takes some preparation, but if you do it, and if you're willing to be one of the few that said, Rich, I am going to finally try to do what you and Brooke have been saying for us to do for over a year. I am going to accept the challenge. I'm going to launch a Hobnob. I'm going to find an entrepreneur, a female entrepreneur, to lead a Networking Gone Wild meeting, and I'm going to commit to it in 22. I am going to be about you in 22. You in 22. That's what I'm going to be about. I am going to consider others. I'm going to go out. I'm going to host these events, and I'm going to accept the challenge. Watch what happens to your market. Watch what happens to your referrals. Watch what happens to your meeting. It's wonderful. Really.
You won't believe what Evan just said.
Okay, you want to share?
Yeah, he says, make it mandatory.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Rich has a problem with mandatory things. It's the rebellion in me. I don't wear a seatbelt either, Evan.
No,
so-
it was reading the book, Joseph Luggett, 0 to 100.
I know.
He knows what book.
Yeah.
I got you. Thank you, Evan. But I struggle with the whole mandatory thing. But anyway, let's move on. Events. Host events, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, host events. They're powerful. Add-ons. Okay. I want to talk to everybody about this real quick because, well, you need to know about it. So let's move along here. I'm going to come back to our website. When you're at our website and you're logged in, whether you're a member, a meeting leader, an area director, or even Suzanne, Rich, or Brooke, you have add-ons. And when you click on add-ons, you have pro teams, member meeting rooms, mastermind, NTI TV, and the NTI digital business card. These are all things over and above membership. Some are free, some are not. Some you have to pay for. Members need to know these add-ons are going to expand. We want more and more helpful resources to our members offered at a discounted price that our members can take advantage of to help grow their networking, their businesses. I want to see start a networking gone wild meeting right here. I want to see start a hobnob right here. I want to see many things. But for example, the NTI digital V card. I need all meeting leaders to understand that from this point forward, the NTI digital V card from V Card Global is going to have an additional cost. The additional cost is $4 per month. The $4 per month is covering the cost of the card. We cannot afford any longer due to the stress of COVID. We cannot afford to cover this cost. And a lot of our members are not using it. Those that do will realize that $48 a month or a year is not that much money to pay for a digital business card, especially what the V card has to offer. But what I wanted to say is if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. But if our members do not sign up for the V card in the next 2 weeks, by February 15th, they will lose their V card. So I'm going to send out a message to everybody. Okay. I'm going to put a national message out for all of Networking Today, but I need your help in getting the word out. If a member is using the MyNTI card from V Card Global and they are not paying the $4 on or after February 16th, we'll give everyone the entire day of the February 15th. Okay. February 16th on, your card will be canceled.
And we really want you guys to promote anything that's on an add-on. As a meeting leader, you need to put these products out in front of your members so that they know about it. But it's each individual person's decision on what they want. It's not like the entire meeting decided we want to opt out of this, because the fact of the matter is some of the tools that we're about to bring to you are going to be huge for many, many people. And if you're not promoting it, they don't know about it, except for if they're taking their own time to go through the site themselves. That would be the only way they would do it, unless you're standing in front of the room telling them about all the tools that we're giving. Yes, it's an additional cost, but don't they say you have to put money into a business to make it happen?
They do. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this real quick too, because we're going to add a lot more, like the digital business card. Thanks to Ruben re-engaging and helping us re-engage with this platform that he uses called Elify. We're adding more digital business card resources. We're adding more NFC chip embedded card resources that our members will be able to buy at a discounted rate and use for their own business.
And we're looking for different options. So it may be a monthly subscription. It may be an annual subscription. It may be a one-time purchase. We're looking at various options for everyone. So we're putting a lot of time into looking for these tools for you guys.
And on top of that, we had a great suggestion that instead of $4 a month, hey, Rich, could you just make an annual option and just let me pay the $50 or $48 and just be done with it? Yes, we're adding that. I promise you. It's not, the thing is it's not like I can just go over, click a button and all of a sudden it's there. I have to work with the dev team. The dev team has an entire list of things they're working to fix and correct and get updated or finish that didn't get done in the launch. And so we add it to the list of things that we're knocking out each and every day, each and every week. So be patient, it'll be added, but there's going to be a lot more here. And some of you may have suggestions like Ruben, you may have suggestions that you want included in the add-on section that maybe even you get compensated for. That's fine. Networking Today is probably going to upcharge a little bit so that we can make a little bit on it, but we want to be a blessing to you. And if applicable, and if frankly, if Brooke and I like it, then we're going to add it. We're going to vet it out. If we don't like it, it's not going to be added. And we're not adding Neora. We're not adding Arbonne. We're not adding things that don't apply. Don't send us your weight loss. Would it help their business? Someone's business that they lost weight? Probably, but we're not adding weight loss supplements to the add-ons. That's not what this is for. This is for masterminds.
We're trying to find ways to help you grow your business on an individual basis, but also using it to help grow your meetings as well. Because a lot of the digital business cards give you multiple cards to promote. So if you look at mine and Rich's cards, we have pages on our cards to promote our own personal businesses, but we also have our meetings that we can promote.
And so one of the things Brooke said, and you guys might not have caught it, is it's not a group decision. So we had a meeting leader that stood in front of his group and talked to about 50 people in the group. Have you guys ever heard of what's called peer pressure? And when like 10 people in a crowd who are vocal say, no, we don't want it. I don't even use it. The other people who are shy or timid or less outspoken, less strong verbally, they're going to fall in line with those who are stronger. And especially if the meeting leader is joining in with them saying, yeah, this really isn't something that you'd want, or why would you even use it? If that's your mentality, the whole group will decide not to use it. That's not your job as a meeting leader. Your job as a meeting leader is to let the members know the resources that are available to them and let them decide what is important for them, not deciding as a group. Okay. So just want to get that out there. You say, Rich, why are you training on this? Like, it doesn't even apply to me. Well, because it comes to us. Believe me, you would be surprised if we shared with you all those things. But we are going to add more add-ons. We have something that we're doing in the referral system that we genuinely have never seen at any other networking group in the world. And we hope that it is one of the things that helps every member that's a part of Networking Today literally and physically grow their business. I hope also you guys are using the referral system. I'm not talking about it today, but it's working and it's great.
I used it this morning for Miss Amy.
Literally, Brooke was on the phone with her sister who works at a local college here in Knoxville. And I'm not trying to give too much information.
My sister was really mad about having to book a bunch of hotels. And I said, do you want me to make your life easier? She said, yeah, how? I said, here's Amy.
And Amy's doing everything and it doesn't cost the college a dime. I mean, it's brilliant. So she then sent Amy that referral through the referral system and it worked and is going well. They are scheduled to talk later today. Okay. Amy told me I couldn't go until 2:30 or 3:30 today. So I have to hurry,
Her
guys.
calls at 2:45.
I got you. Email follow-up. Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about is I plan to. So one of the criticisms, as Brooke was saying, is that people want me to do an email follow-up or an email out of the things talked about on this call. So I'm going to do it. I'm committing to all of you that I plan to do it. And you'll get your first one today. I'm not going to send a transcript. It will be highlights. I don't intend to go in and write a paragraph or two of everything that I think you need to know. I was criticized recently for not communicating. Is that a problem for Rich?
No, but can I say something? Because poor little Amy's about to bust out of the screen. I see her just bubbling up because I don't know if many of y'all know this because I know Rich doesn't know this, but Miss Amy usually takes notes during the entire meeting and sends an email out to all of you meeting leaders to let you all know. So that's why when I was told that he doesn't communicate properly, not only do we do this call, but Amy does go through and send a follow-up email to every single one of you. And that same person told us they didn't know anything that was happening. The reason being is they did not come on the training call and they did not read Amy's email.
And they're probably the same people ignoring Amy's call when she calls and says, hi, I'm your meeting leader concierge calling to make sure you know everything that's going on, which, by the way, is why we brought Amy on as meeting leader concierge. Her sole responsibility is to make sure all of our meeting leaders know what's happening, are happy. We want you to be happy. That's why we brought Amy on. That's why we said we need a meeting leader concierge. I didn't know Amy was doing these email follow-ups. I love that, Amy. Thank you.
See, I knew he didn't know it, and I knew he was going to say he was going to do this. I did that so good.
You did. You
Yeah,
did.
I was about to say, should I stop taking notes then and emailing people?
No, you should keep going. That way we have, this proof. But what I'm saying is, guys, I am also committing to it. So I'm putting an email together that I will send out, just trying to stop the mouths of those that constantly complain and say what they don't get from us. But just so you know, I want to do a better job of communicating. I want all the meeting leaders to know, and I want to communicate in a way that's good for you. So just know, after this call today, I plan to send out through Fanzuma an email. Check your spam. If you don't get it, the first place to look is your spam folder. The second place to look is your inbox. Okay. Or that email, the trash email that you gave us to send things to. Okay. Moving right along. You guys know that knowledge is power. You need to be reading this book. You really do. And that feeds your mind. A doctor friend of mine, Brooke, and I had the pleasure of having lunch with a doctor friend of ours. And the doctor friend said to us that he had learned that if you want to make $1 million, you got to read 12 books a year. Yeah, 12 books a year. He said, so then to be a multimillionaire, he said, I guess I need to, how did he say it, Brooke?
I need to read 24 books in a year instead of 12.
And he's on, what do you say, book 3?
No, 5.
He's doing 5?
He's already done 5 books.
He's already done 5 this month. So,
and can I say this? He is a millionaire. He makes $1 million.
Okay. Couple other things. Let me stop share for a second because there's a couple other things I need to share with you guys. If you give me just a second, please. Just a couple of other things. I forgot to talk about this one. That's what it was. All right.
That's right, Evan. Tell them to show up at the book club. If they can't do anything else and read it on their own like that, at least get with a group of humans that are reading books.
Okay, so I skipped this slide. I knew I wanted to talk about it, but let me come back to say this. So some of you remember that we tried our best to embed Fanzuma, a member communication tool, into the site. We removed it on this iteration of the website because we were switching to a platform called Keep. Well, Keep has presented very expensive alternatives for us. In addition to that, it's not proving easy to use. So we're going back to Fanzuma. You say, Rich, this is so confusing. Well, these are, if you're a business owner, you know how difficult it can be to find a system, stick with the system, et cetera, et cetera. But with Fanzuma, we've decided to rebuild it. Our dev team has started a 16-week project that when we're done with Fanzuma, it will be one of the most effective, but what? It's effective.
He didn't say it.
It's going to be one of the most effective communication tools. Is it going to be a full-blown CRM? No, it won't. But it will be one of the most effective communication tools that you will have in your arsenal to communicate with your members, the members of your meeting. So there are those of you that say, well, Rich, man, I don't want to have to go over and log into Fanzuma and learn how to use Fanzuma, blah, blah, blah. First of all, I can teach you a couple of simple steps. You literally can have Fanzuma done and using this most robust communication system. Did that just for you guys. Did that just for you.
That was for me and Ray.
All you have to do, all of you have access to FanZuma. And if you don't, let me know. I'll get it for you. All you have to do is log into FanZuma, pick which meeting location you want to send a message out, and hit duplicate. It's literally, I can show anyone how to send out a message in less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes of your time. And you can send a message out, even with making some edits. So for now, if you want to communicate with your group, you can use FanZuma. But you got to go to fanzuma.com/login. If you go to fanzuma.com, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a login button. Click login. Put your login credentials in, and if you don't have them, let me know. I'll make sure they're correct. I'll make sure that you have them, and I'll make sure you can get in, and I'll make sure that you can use it. I personally promise you that I can teach you how to do it. Now, teach you everything about FanZuma in 5 minutes? No, ma'am, no, sir. But can I teach you how to send a message out to your members, reminding them of your meeting each week? Absolutely. Bye, Evan. So what I'm saying is, guys, the CRM tool is going to be powerful. We're bringing FanZuma back to NTI, but I need you just to be patient with me, please, while we get this done and get it out. Okay. Now, I talked about add-ons. I talked about email follow-up. Talked about which book to read. Our next call, I know all of you know this already because I know you have it in your system. When you went into your Google Calendar, you created the event and you hit repeat, and you clicked on every 2 weeks or the second, Tuesday repeating, and with no end date, and you clicked save. So I know it's embedded in your computer already. Put the link. I'm not saying the link for the Zoom window. I'm saying put the link to the meeting room in your calendar. All you have to do is click it. No matter what the website's doing, you can get to this meeting. Okay, next call is February the 15th. All right, we love you. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. If you have any questions, need some personal time, need some love from Rich, love from Brooke, all you got to do is call us. Text us.
Call.
Don't get discouraged.
Hey, look, we may have found a new way to get everybody here.
Hmm.
We got a new drinking game, guys. Every time he says robust, everybody takes a drink.
So that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I will say robust so many times, y'all be so shit-faced by the time we get off the call. What?
Don't say that.
Okay, you'll be so drunk by the time you get off the call. Can I say that? Okay, so be so drunk by the time you get off the call, you'd be like, I can't wait to call 5 people today. Guys, what I'm saying is, like, transforming your networking meeting is transforming your own business. It really is.
And can I give some love to Fatty? We're actually going to stay online with Fatty for a few, but we got a great email from you last Friday. He apparently, I don't really know the full behind the scenes yet. That's why we're kind of going to stay on for a few minutes, but he took the time to reach out to all of his meeting leaders and kind of re-engage with some that maybe haven't been as active or anything. And he sent me and Rich an email that kind of gave us an overview of what they're doing and people who want to get re-engaged, people who are focusing on building and things like that. So props to you, Fatty, for doing that. I mean, there was no guidance whatsoever given. Like, he didn't need Brooke or Rich for anything. He just took it upon himself and did it on his own. So we want to give you some love for that. It was a great job, and I can't wait to hear what all you get to tell us after this call.
Yeah. And guys, lots of times, man, you guys know how salespeople and entrepreneurs are. Lots of times they just need a reminder or, hey, have you thought about, and you'd be surprised how many times, but we get scared to cold call. That's what it is. We think we're calling in trouble on people or whatever. You put a simple call out, you'd be amazed at what happens. Thank you all for coming. Glad you made it. See you again in 2 weeks. Bye, everybody.